Hello and welcome to another video. I'm actually filming this partway through the week and I'm putting it at the beginning because it came to my attention that my email was read out on the Land Rover Monthly podcast. So if you're here after hearing that and looking at the YouTube channel that they shared and read out, then hello and welcome along. And because of that, they now want to feature the 90 as well. So it looks like it's going to be in the magazine very soon. I've told them to give me a few weeks because I'd like to get a couple more bits done. Might even paint the buck as well. Because although it's now clean, there's still quite a colour disparity. So I think we might have to paint the buck before then. Oh, and the roof. I'm going to do the roof as well. So yeah, so if you've come from the LRM podcast, welcome along. We have obviously the Defender that they mentioned, and also the Range Rover Classic TD5 is the next one in the workshop. And we have a launch day registered Discovery 1 as well, which we're going to restore. So if you're Land Rover, welcome along. There will be other stuff in between because obviously I've got to make a living. So yeah, thanks for coming along. Anyway, let's start the video. Morning, you joined me on Tuesday. I just had other work to do yesterday, so I am back on here today. I am in the Defender. I've been out for a little drive. Obviously it hasn't moved for a long time, so I'm testing out the speedo. That works fine. It's clocking up the mileage, which is good because the mileage wasn't clocking up before. I'm keeping an eye on the gauges. They seem to be working as they should. So yeah, so now I've got the snap on and I'm plugging in to do the mileage correction. So I'm going into the menu, choosing Land Rover, manual ID because it only does automatic ID from 2007 and newer, and this is technically a 2000 Discovery 2 because that's all the wiring and everything. Discovery 2, 2.5 diesel. Okay, then I've chosen body control module and then odometer configuration, odometer update. This procedure is used to check and update the odometer values on the BCU and the instrument panel if they are different. A flashing odometer can indicate that the odometer values are not the same in the ECUs. Right, ensure the ignition is on and the engine is off. So, ignition on, engine off, continue, completed successfully, continue, stop communication, continue. We've got the dash back and the mileage has stopped. Unfortunately, it has taken the mileage of the clocks. I thought it took the mileage of the BCU, but it's taken the mileage of the clocks. So we've just gained a few miles, but that's not the end of the world, I suppose. I'm going to have a look and see the difference. Hang on. Right, so doing an MOT history check. Before I'd done the conversion, the mileage was 153,000. When I put the old Discovery clocks in, it went to 144,000, so it went back 9,000 miles, and now it's gone up to 168,333. So once we'd done 144,000 miles, we'd done, according to my speedo, my GPS speedo, 2,944 miles since the MOT. So 3,000, let's say, so that would have been 147,000, and we're at 168. So 20,000 miles extra on the clock. I mean, it doesn't matter to me because this isn't going anywhere, but I will probably have to ring my insurance company and just let them know that the mileage has substantially gone up due to the change of clocks. But anyway, we are working. Oh, better turn the lights off, we're sitting here. Yeah, the mileage has stopped flashing, everything seems to be working. So now what I have noticed is I've got some bulbs out on these clocks, so I've now got to take the clocks back out again and change the bulbs. So yeah, and also the handbrake light is on. I've remembered that I haven't wired in the handbrake yet, so I must have blanked it off on the last clocks. So I'll need to either look for that wire or just blank that off, because you know you're not going to go anywhere if the handbrake's on, aren't you? Right, I think that's me for now. I will show you once I've got the clocks apart. Well, in an unlikely event that I do, I actually just went and washed this. Just a quick jet wash and quick sponge down, nothing detail spec. But obviously you can see there is a colour difference, but it's a lot better than when it was dirty. And it's wet, so I'm sure once it dries, it'll probably be a big difference. But I've noticed with the jet wash, I've taken some paint off, and that tub is green underneath, so I'm guessing that's been changed before. So we might have to have that painted as well at some point. It's not too much of a problem. Whip them arches off, lift the cage up. I want to paint the roof anyway, so it'll kind of all work. So yeah, so that's clean, ready for a bit more work to be done. I need to sort out relocating the second battery isolator, because that's going to be where the speakers are going to be. Tomorrow my friend is coming over to do some bits and pieces. He's going to weld up that speaker mount for me so I can get it all fitted, and he's going to do some work on the ZR van. So yeah, let's have a cup of tea and let's get relocating that isolator. Tedious. Well, that escalated quickly. I started scraping off the paint in the middle, and as you can see, it's black underneath. But on that front section there, you can see it's straight down to bare alley. So I'm going to have to strip the whole lot and then paint the whole lot. So that is what I've started doing. I've taken 2 hours to get to that position, and I can't do it all at the minute until the cage comes off, because obviously there's stuff behind the cage and I don't want to scratch the powder coat off the cage. So we're just going to have to solder on and do what we can at the moment. And then once hopefully that's back on its wheels tomorrow evening, then Thursday we can get that out the way, and then we'll be able to use the lift to get the cage off, for example. I mean, I probably won't do it now, but yeah, that's what's got to happen, I think. Oh, I should have just rubbed it down and chucked some aerosol on it. So a successful day today. We have created the speaker pod and made the mounts for it and got the bulkhead ready to accept it. So I'm taking this home now because I haven't got any etch primer or paint here. So I'm going to take it home and get some on the way home and paint it in my garage tonight, ready for tomorrow. What else have we done today? Fixed my stairs. My rail was cable tied on, so that's now welded on, so which is good. What else have we done? Oh yes, I'll have to show you that tomorrow when the bonnet's down, but I've got the badges on. We fixed the flap motor on the side because that popped off the other day for whatever reason, so that's been done. So that's another job that's been sorted. And what else do we have to do? Ah, yes, hang on. I lost the locking wheel nut on the Jag, on the XJ. I managed to get the 2 front off ages ago. I don't know whether I think I put it in the video. When I had to change the front brakes, I managed to get the 2 front locking wheel nuts off with hitting a socket on. The rears wouldn't have it. They were just spinning and spinning. So it took an hour aside to get that off. Mikey had to heat up the spinning bit with exceptional high heat on the welder to burn through it, because you couldn't drill it. It was so hard it wouldn't go through, so we had to melt it, and then we had to chisel the collar off to get to the actual nut itself, and then hammer a socket on there. But yeah, it took an hour each side. What have you done?
Like I said, got the socket stuck on there. That's what I was laughing at.
This man's trying to remove my broken wheel nuts.
Can I weld your ratchet onto this socket as well?
I'd rather you didn't. joy. So, but that's done. So I can now change the rear brakes on the Jag because they're starting to squeal and the pads are quite low. So that's that. So tomorrow we are on the ZR. We have got to get that front end or part of that front end on here so we can use the early lights as opposed to the ZR twin headlights. As you can see, that panel comes straight down on the chassis, on the wing landing panel. This one comes right out here, so the headlight don't fit. So we've got to unpick this and take all this front slam panel off and put it, obviously put the BRM one back on here. The only issue is obviously it is kinked slightly where I hit the lorry. So we've got to try and straighten that out a bit first, get a headlight in there nicely before we unpick it. Hence why I cut the whole front end off. So that's tomorrow's job. So I'm going to go home because I've been here since just before 6 a.m. this morning. Because it is now 2:30 and the main man had to go at 2, so we come in very early. So I'm going to go home, paint that bit up ready for tomorrow, and then we'll come in and sort this. So I'll see you in the morning. It's begun. Well, that's the slam panel off and the bonnet support, even though it's a bolt-on item.
And this is a cut and shut with a stolen serial number.
It will be a cut and shut after this is on, but it's definitely not stolen. I've done a car vertical on it. The process is getting nearer. Choppy, bit by bit. We're getting there. Well, I say we're getting there. He's getting there. I'm just watching and making the coffee. Right, a few little jobs I'm doing. I'm just carpeting the speaker mount now. I'm just letting the glue go off, then I've got to trim around it. I've spray painted my visors, cleaned all them up and painted them black. And I'm also putting a bit of carpet over the centre console, the gear sticks around thing. I was going to look to get a mat, but I think what I'll do is I'll carpet this and then maybe get a mat as well. I had this bit of carpet left over from the roof, so the centre console is going to be the same colour as the roof, so I think it'll work. Anyway, this is just tacking off, so let's get it stuck. He's still welding away over there. Soon we'll have the early headlights on the ZR. So yeah, right, let's stick this together. And having a quick fit up before final welding, but all looks spot on. The boy's done good. So yeah, I think it's time to weld her up. Mr. Robo Welder. Whilst I was waiting on the spray adhesive to arrive, I double layered sound deadening on the fiberglass R380 tunnel as well because it had nothing on it. So I've put some on there. So let's start getting the centre bits fitted back in. So the morning after the day before, we have the speakers in, we have the tunnel carpeted, we have the seat box risers carpeted, and that matches the grey on the roof. We also have the sun visors painted, so they're now black. So actually this interior is really getting there. The only oddball bit really is the cubby box and the steering wheel, because the steering wheel is sort of tan and black. My plan is to get the MGTF tan and brown seats. That will match the steering wheel and it will match the cubby box, and then I can have heated seats as well, because obviously the facility's there already. So that is what I'm looking out for, and we'll see how close the brown matches to that. I mean, that might still need painting or dyeing, or we do that black and we have the steering wheel retrimmed in fully black. I don't know, but I'll keep an eye out for seats and we'll see how we get on. So let me show you the ZR now. So here is the pile of bits. There's the wings that have got to be painted to go on there, the bumper that's got to be painted to go on there, and obviously these are all bits that are left over. So we now have a BRM stroke Rover 200 R3 front end on the ZR van. I've not seen a van with this shape on. They're all the sort of the later twin headlight ones that I've noticed. I mean, there might still be ones that are done, but I'm not sure. So yeah, Mikey has welded it all up. He's seam sealed it all. It was literally slithers to get it to exactly where it needs to be. So now I need to clean this up and seam sealer it all. Not seam sealer, zinc primer it. And then, we can get on with this. But my plan was to get all this done so I can get it off the lift, because obviously everything else can be pretty much done on the floor and I want my lift back. So now this is done, I'm going to zinc primer it and then we can get it off the lift. Okay, so that is all zinc primered up already. Obviously we can dust in the paint on that. We need to get some rattle cans of the grey. So obviously that'll all be protected, and that's obviously underneath all the panelling, so it hasn't got to be absolutely perfect, but if I get it in colour, at least it'll be, you know, pretty much there. So that's that. I've got to let all that go off now, so I'll leave that over the weekend. And then Monday morning, we can get back on this and get it going. I'm just going to do one more thing, I think, to the Defender this weekend. No, before this weekend. And then hopefully after the weekend, it can come back out again. So it was always difficult lifting this panel out to get access to the air compressors and stuff, and to drain the tank, you know, the water tap on the bottom of the tank, etc., which you have to do every now and then. So I've put these on, but they serve two purposes. So obviously you can just lift this panel out, but also they'll also serve as tie down hooks for the sub box. So I'm just going to get one of the little sort of luggage ratchet straps, and that'll just hold it down. I have chucked a bit of paint over this to make it a bit black, but it needs carpeting really. I was umming and ahhing about where to put it. Do I move bottles out the way and move it to the side or whatever have you? But, you know, it's kind of a awkward box. Maybe in the future I'll make one that isn't square and maybe fits perfectly on top of that secondary, that cover for the air. So it sits on there perfectly and then fires the subs sort of this way, backwards. That was the box that the manufacturer specified, like the perfect size box for the sub. So, you know, I'm sure I can sacrifice a bit of sound by having an upright box with a sub facing this way, and obviously it'll still have the right volume, as in volumetric size, not loudness volume. So that's what I'll probably end up doing at some point. But for now, that can just be tied down on them hooks, and them hooks can be used for pulling that out, because obviously it needs to be done regularly. So yes, that will do for now. Has taken up some of my load bay, but again, I don't overly use it for a great deal other than when we go away. So yeah, that's another job ticked off, because safety is obviously important. We don't want it flying around. And as I alluded to earlier in the week, the badge is on the bonnet. I'm still on the fence. I still don't know whether I like it or not, but it's there. Nike measured it, it is bob on, but I don't know. I really don't know. Let me know what you think, but yeah, it's on there now. So that's all dried off now, so that's good. We'll leave it over the weekend to proper get hard, and then I'll order some rattle cans up of the grey. And I've spent the rest of the afternoon getting more paint off the roof. I think I'm probably 80% there now. I need to lift the cage off to get the last few bits. But yeah, that's almost ready to be primered and painted black. So yeah, quite a bit of progress. As you can see, it makes quite a bit of mess. So again, another week comes to an end. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next week. And we'll try and get this ZR a bit more together before it goes off the paint. So have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Cheers, guys.